And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, June 6th, 2020. It is Season 14, Episode 16. I am Scott.
And I'm RJ.
That's it. Welcome to the show. It's us. Here to do game talk. Talk games. And figure out why my laptop didn't work again.
But it stopped again?
Oh, it's dead. Yeah, it's not starting up again. Battery life shows that it's fine, but it is not turning on. I've taken the battery out. I've done that. I've done all that stuff, waiting for it to kind of kick back in, but it will not start. So,
but it worked fine all this week before the show.
No, I had to do a lot of that stuff I was doing last week. I did a few of that. I did that a few times this past week. I don't know how many days out of the week I actually did that, but there were a few days out of this past week where I had to do the battery, take the battery out, put it back in, turn it back on, and get it to come up. But it did work. I never had it stay off. So we'll see. We'll see if it kicks in during the show. So I won't have access to Twitch to see the chat room. I guess I could. No, I can't because we got a new computer and I lost all the passwords and I have no idea what our password is. Off the top of my head. So, we'll see. Anyway, that sucks. I just need to get a new one anyway. Not a new Mac. I won't get a new MacBook. This was something I bought for it's when I checked when it was working and I checked the where it was what year it was. It was like a mid-late 2008, which I want to say I bought it in 2009. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I think we mentioned it served you well.
It did, and I bought it, and I used it, and I exactly did what you do with a laptop, which is you get a lot of use out of it, and I got a ton of use out of it. Yeah. But as time went on, and I lost more and more the need to have it, I started only using it for one thing and one thing only, and that was here in the morning show, to keep track of our phone callers that we would get, organize my segments, and do all this, just these stuff. That's it. I would only use it for those 3 hours every day, Monday through Friday, and then, of course, I would use it on the show here. So it stayed up here. I would turn it on, use it, fold it down, put it in the drawer. Next day, bring it back out, do it over and over. So it did get use. But that's the thing, though. If I'm getting another laptop, it's only going to be for the same use that this was using, which was just for that little bit, which means I don't need a MacBook to do that.
Yeah.
That's highly expensive of a computer to just use it for that one purpose. So I don't know. I'll get maybe a tablet, or I'll get something that's or something that really is really, really cheap and not have to worry about, if it does something like this, I'm not out, $1,000, which is what a MacBook can run you. So yeah. And that's fine. I'm totally fine with that. I haven't actually shopped around for laptops in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been 10 years.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would pass by them and stuff and just whatever, and I'd be like, I'm fine, don't need any of these. That's a really cool one, that's neat, that's whatever. That's really expensive. So, yeah. So if you see me reaching over to hit the button there, it's just me trying to see if I can get it to come on again, see if I can get it to say, oh, here, I'm sorry, I was sleeping. Thing needs to be put out to pasture, as they say. Thanks for these.
No, you're welcome.
These, if you don't know, folks, I'm glad you have that one because I don't have that one. These are the slips they give you. So you go out and you buy a movie. Mm-hmm. You buy a DVD or a Blu-ray or a 4K or any of those, and you get this little card in here. It's like, go and redeem your digital copy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't use them. I use them. I use them. I have built up quite a collection of my digital films. So I appreciate you bringing these in.
You're welcome.
So yeah, if anybody else gets these little Cody sheets, They got a little. It's not the same thing. Yeah, that's the movie rewards. The actual code of the movie is on the back. So yeah, anybody gets these things, they want to just not need them, not use them, let me know, because I can add it to my collection. They're not doing anything; they're just sitting around. They're not doing anything.
That's true.
You're not using them at all. So
I didn't think of them. My main focus was the disc.
Right, and I appreciate it. For a long time, mine was too, but I can't remember what I was doing. I guess I was setting up all that, setting up all the stuff when you get a digital streaming device like a Roku or an Apple TV or something like that. And I go, what is all this? Oh, what is this? What is this? Oh, wait, I can put my movies on this thing? Oh, that's fantastic. I don't have to get up and go get the movie out of the case or anything and just watch it digitally here. Oh, that's great. So, I went through my house and was like, I'm going to pull all these things and start redeeming all of these things. And so, my movies grew into it's not a good representation of the movies that I have because they didn't start doing this until the Blu-ray age, basically.
Yeah, there's a ton of movies I got on DVD and just DVD.
Tons of those, but my digital collection so far I think is in the 400s, maybe higher. So yeah, it's a building. It's a getting up there. I have no idea what they're saying in the chat room. Can't tell, but if you want to get in touch with us, you can call us at 334-272-9228. I don't even know who's in the chat room with us. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at ingamechat. You can also find us Facebook there as well. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We're streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv, type in ingamechat. You can watch us live. You can find us there and join us in the chat room live while we broadcast. Well, without the chat room there to kind of direct me into which way I'm going to go, and mainly so that if Lethal Migraine's in there, he doesn't tell me that I'm talking too much about Destiny. Destiny did a event today. Did you happen to get on for that or no?
No.
Okay.
I really haven't had a reason to get on to Destiny for a minute. So,
well, why don't we hello. Why don't we experience that event in real time? It happened today at noon. At Reset, they told you to be in the tower.
Okay.
And so I went to the tower, and staring at the sun from the tower, which is the little hub space for Destiny 2, where everybody can go and talk to the Vanguard and everything, get bounties and missions and things. So from the tower, if you look at the sun, there's a gigantic ship that is almost blocking out the sun, headed towards Earth, headed towards your location. It's a last attempt by the enemies to take us out. It's a ship that was put there at the beginning of Destiny 2. The very first, the first full story mission of Destiny 2, the whole thing, is you trying to stop them from harnessing the sun's power and shooting a laser beam of light right to you, and blowing up the Traveler or blowing up Earth or something like that. So yeah. Anyway, so this giant ship is called the Almighty, and it'd been sitting dormant up there. Nobody was doing anything with it, but as somebody got a hold, some I don't know who it was. There was I think it was the Vex, got up into the ship, and as a last little resort, they aimed the ship's coordinates towards the tower, hit the button, and then they left. They abandoned the ship as it just zoomed in. So then we had to do all these things with Rasputin over the course of this season to build up his weapons and build up his defense system and get it ready to fire upon the Almighty to blow it out of the sky. And they said you should be in the tower at noon today so you could possibly see this happen. So we're going to experience it in real time. Real time, as it happened. As it literally happened. So right now we're in the tower, we're looking up, and we see the Almighty at the sun, and blocking out the sun, headed towards Earth, and all right, now we wait to see when this is going to happen. I'll let you know when things change.
Okay.
It will. It's just, here's my point. It took a long time. It took a long time for them. This is Destiny's first live event. It's the first event where something was going to happen that everybody was going to experience, who was logged in and at the tower and everything else. First time that they were going to have something like this. Normally, when things take place, you log in after the game's gone down for maintenance. You log back in. You get a cutscene that's like, oh, here's what happened to advance our story. Okay, everybody gets the cutscene. Everybody gets to see it.
Yeah, last time on Destiny 2.
Right, yeah, and then you move on. This was something that was going to take place right in front of our eyes. No logging out, no resetting, no maintenance. It's just going to happen right before us. So people were curious as to how that was going to go. So there we are. We're in the tower waiting for this thing to happen. I'm there. Random's there. Rogue is there. Shin joins in. In fact, James starts re-downloading the game so that he can get in and see this. So, yeah. There's tons of people in the tower. Tower can only hold about 26 people. Each instance can hold only about 26 people. And none of us were in the tower together. And so everybody's tower was full at least. And I'm sure tons of people's towers were full of people. So it was up there. It was up there. At one point in Twitch, I know Anthony checked. At one point on Twitch, there were over 120,000 streams. 120,000 people streaming Destiny 2 on Twitch. It was massive. So, yeah. So I'll let you know when things change.
Okay.
As we wait in real time. In the meantime, I wish my laptop would work. That sucks. So I have to use my phone now to go to all of our stuff and see what's been going on. Yeah, see, we just did that one story. Destiny 2 is ready to fire its biggest gun in the game's first ever live event. See how that all goes. So, yeah, there was a lot of... boy, we were going to have a lot to talk about today as far as video games were concerned. As far as Sony, we were going to have, they were going to do their thing. They had a huge event coming up on Thursday, and we were going to learn more about the PS5. They're going to show off some games. In fact, Destiny was going to have some stuff done, I want to say it was this week, but that got pushed back a week to let us know about the expansion for this coming September, the new expansion thing. Summer of Gaming events was going to start, I think it was going to start yesterday or Thursday, delayed. So... what else was there? Call of Duty had a season that they delayed, so that didn't happen. Yeah, there was a lot of delays. I don't actually, if I were to show you this, and I can show you guys this from top to bottom on that screen, if it's visible in the video screen, from top to bottom on that screen is the only news we have. And everything I just told you about everything getting delayed takes off about 4 of those articles. I don't want to say there really wasn't. There wasn't much in the way of gaming news, and there didn't need to be much in the way of gaming news. There were other more pressing, more important things that needed focus, needed attention. I am not upset that that Sony and all these other folks did this. I think, and I'd have to look, but if I went back to see when E3 was scheduled to start before COVID canceled all that.
Yeah.
Would it have been this weekend? Do we know? And if it would, if it was to happen, I'm very, very curious.
It said it was scheduled to take place June 9th through the 11th.
All right. So, yeah. This Sunday would have been like Bethesda and Microsoft. Ubisoft would have been on Monday and everything else. So, I'm really curious how they would have handled that. Take away the COVID. Take away the coronavirus. So they wouldn't have delayed. But the riots, the protests, the civil unrest, the injustice, all of that, what would they have done? I'm very curious. We'll never get the answer to that. They will tell you that they would have delayed it. but I don't. That's because they can say that now because they don't have one to delay. But I'm curious. I'm really, really curious. Hard to do that with something like the LA Convention Center. They have schedules where, okay, you're here for these days. When you go, this other group comes in and they rent out the space and they do their thing for a few days, and then somebody else comes in. I'm really curious as to what would have happened with all of these delays that we're getting here, and these are just virtual events, not even live events. I feel like they would have some of it would have been postponed. I think. I don't know. Curious. But still no word that PAX has canceled their thing. Hasn't said anything about that.
That's the one in Seattle, right?
The one in Seattle, yeah. That doesn't matter. I keep bringing it up. I don't know why, because I'm not going. So,
yeah.
Even if they go through with it, I'm not. Even though it's a perfect time to do it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right now is a perfect time. I mean, I'm not kidding. Right now is a great time to take a trip. It is. Airline prices, cheap. So cheap. So cheap. It's a fantastic time to take a trip. If you talk about Walt Disney World that's opening up, Six Flags that's opening up, you make appointments to go in. Parks are not opening up to capacity, which means you'll have more time in the park to ride rides and do all this stuff because there won't be a lot of people that you'll have to deal with. Lines will go fast. It's kind of an interesting concept, one which I think they should try. But yeah, it's as far as price and everything, the cheap flights, it's a great time to travel. Great time to travel. Protect yourself as much as you feel necessary. Great time to travel, though. What's the other thing? Oh, the some of the airlines, at least. I know Delta is, but I don't know about some of the other ones. But they're doing the distancing on the plane. So one of the things when I travel is I call it airline lottery, airplane lottery, whatever, which is where you get on a plane, you've already looked at the seating chart, and you're like, all right, I'll click that seat. You get on that plane, and you're hoping that the seat next to you, maybe they're not going to get there. Maybe they canceled their flight, or they picked a different seat, or somehow you've got that space so that you're not, squeezed in like a tuna, like a sardine, whatever they call it.
Well, that was regardless on my trip.
I know, right?
Every seat was squeezed in a sardine.
Not like that on the planes now. It is seat person.
Yeah, gap in between.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Everything, gap in between. Perfect way to fly.
Was that at most?
I know it's on Delta.
2 folks a section.
Well, it depends on the plane, obviously. If you've got 2 seats, in other words, if the aisle splits and there's 3 seats on one side, 2 on the other, then somebody gets usually it's the window seat is taken on the 2 seat side, and then there's a gap, and then somebody gets the aisle seat on the 3 seat side, then a gap, and then somebody gets the window seat, and so just it's nice. That's the way I like to fly. Not everybody, I mean, I'm not. Seats weren't built for me anyway, and I wasn't built for those. Put it this way, I was built for those seats, not at my current condition, but yeah, it's nice to have that. So I'm like, that's the lottery I play. Like, oh hey, do I get the? And sometimes you get a whole row to yourself, and that's like winning the jackpot. Because it's like, I got nobody to. I don't have to deal with anybody. I don't have to move my legs so somebody can get up and go to the bathroom. I don't have to worry about somebody, coming in and sitting down, and where I have to move. I can take a nap if I want to, and don't have to worry about, moving. It's fine. So, yeah, I say it's like a perfect time to travel. I only say that because flights are cheap.
Yeah, but they've been cheap for a minute, though.
They have been cheap ever since this whole thing happened.
Yeah.
So, in fact, amazingly enough, the flights out of, and that's something, the flights out of Montgomery have dropped drastically. If I were to fly to Seattle out of Montgomery right now, there is, if I were going through, I guess, Delta, because that's going to take me to Atlanta, There used to be, I think, like 4 or 5, 6 flights a day out of Montgomery to Atlanta. There's one. There's one single flight every day from Montgomery to Atlanta. There is one flight every day out of Atlanta back to Montgomery. That's it. That is all. There used to be 4 or 6, something like that. I mean, that was a big thing. Just we're going to pack them up, fly over to Atlanta, drop them off, pick up the group from there, fly back, drop them off, pick up the next group, fly back, and just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. One time a day now. So, that's another reason I'm probably, that's another good reason to not go to Seattle this year, is just for the fact that I don't think, convenient-wise, it would work out too well if I wanted to leave out of Montgomery. Chances are I'd have to drive to Atlanta and fly straight out of there, and then do a 6-hour flight back on whatever day I come back on, and then get my car and then have to drive, 2.5 hours back home, which I'm not big on that for my longer trips. Yeah, kind of like to be able to go and be like, okay, good. I got a 20-minute ride home.
You're dreaded the drive home.
Yeah, well, it's a drain. Man, I tell you, flight's a drain, dude.
I know. I've only been on one flight in my life, but I remember dreading having to drive home because having to deal with.
Was that Vegas when you went to?
Yeah, Vegas
Evo?
when we went to Evo. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't a long flight, but it did have an effect on me, going through all that stuff there, and then having to drive the 2.5 hours back from Atlanta back home. I was dreading that.
Yeah, if you're with a group, it's like, okay, pull over, we'll switch out our drivers or something like that. I don't know, and maybe with a group it's more fun, but yeah, the flights from Seattle to Atlanta is
that's a distance,
6 hours and something and some change. It is. For whatever reason, it's draining. Going there is not so much. And I don't know why it isn't. I guess because immediately when I get there, I just get to the hotel and I crash. But here, I gotta get to my house and unpack and then be able to crash. Of course, if I have to fly to Atlanta, I got to drive all the way to Montgomery. Which I know, first world problems. These are just not anything to be concerned with.
I
like
remember
this
there's a whole
laptop.
bunch of things that's going on that I just already decided I'm not going to.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I mean, even if they haven't canceled, you still got it's a convention with a whole bunch of folks standing around each other. And social
that's the other
distancing
thing.
is not going to be practiced out there.
From what I understand, Dragon Con still isn't canceled. But I also don't know of a lot of people
Not
who are...
quite the hours. I think the hours are still... Their hours are still operation. You can still, order tickets or whatever from what I looked at the website. But, no, I don't think a lot of folks are going to be decide on going out there.
Right.
I know it's a big event, like 80+ thousand people
It's a lot
every
of
year,
people.
but no, I don't think it's worth the risk, man.
It's a lot of
Personally,
people.
I don't think it's worth the risk.
And I'm real surprised. Well, that's the other thing. Are they going to have people there? Like, the people will come, yes, but usually for these things, when they put them on, they have, they have guests who are there who are signing autographs and doing talking and
and
for
guests
meet
ain't-
and greets and everything else. And
guests ain't coming.
I was going to say, I don't think those people are going to come.
No, guests ain't coming.
So yeah. Anyway, where are we at? It's 4:30. Okay. Well, 30 minutes, and we are still looking at the sky, waiting for the Almighty to do something. Still nothing has happened. So anyway, we're going to take a break. Again, there's just not a lot, man. There is not a lot. I could blow through these in no time, to tell you, because everything was just delayed. Trying to see if there's anything. No, there's not. So, all right, we'll come back with more in-game chat in just a minute. Music coming up here from Jurassic World Evolution. It's the one where you build your own little Jurassic Park.
Oh, park simulator.
It's a park simulator with dinosaurs. Yeah.
Accidents will happen.
Well, name of the track is called Chaos Finds a Way.
See, there you go.
Yeah. We'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. welcome back to In-Game Chat.
This makes me think of Skullgirls or Sam and Max, somewhere in that.
Yeah,
those areas.
Sam and Max I totally get. I don't know about Skullgirls, but
Skullgirls has that. Skullgirls has that that band swing and jazz jazz sound to it.
This comes from the Kerbal Space Program. It's called Build Mode, which I just feel like, hey, I'm putting my space program together, I guess. I don't know.
Poorly.
Yeah, usually.
Because some of the funniest videos I've seen is these rocket designs folks come up with, and they're hysterical. You remember what was the funniest one you ever seen?
Oh God, I don't know. I haven't watched Kerbal Space videos in a long time.
Yeah. I think I saw one. You look at it, you knew it wasn't going to work. It was like
some of those work.
I mean, some of them work, yeah. But you look at this thing, and you knew it wasn't going to work. It was like a cockpit and a ring of boosters, like in this pentagram shape, just all thrown together on top of the launch pad, and just a little cockpit sitting on top of it. So as soon as that thing lit up, it got like just past the tower that it's hooked up to, and it just went all over the place. It blew up.
The thing that made me think about that was the fact that there was a story that we had about Take-Two, which is a game publisher, and what they were doing with the Kerbal sequel. Recent Bloomberg story takes aim at Take-Two Interactive. They're calling out the fact that the company had canceled a contract for Kerbal Space Program 2 with the new defunct studio Star Theory, mid-development, while simultaneously offering jobs at Take-Two to the game's entire dev team. Before the studio knew the deal was off, Take-Two started reaching out via its publishing arm to developers actively working on the sequel at Star Theory, informing them that the game's development would be moved to a team within Take-Two and asking if they'd like to apply for that team. They fully admit to this, saying in a statement to Bloomberg that it reached out to every member of the team, and more than half eventually accepted. In doing so, we are empowering our deeply passionate and talented team to focus on quality, and we are thrilled with the progress that they are making on the game, reads the statement. Star Theory has since shut down, and its former staff says the situation forced them to choose between their own livelihoods or the studio. Bloomberg notes that up until that moment, the team at Star Theory believed development was progressing smoothly. Nothing was in jeopardy. Shortly after those messages were sent out to the individual devs, studio leadership informed the team that they had been in the process of clarifying previously unclear royalty terms with Take-Two. Kerbal Space Program 2 is a property that Take-Two has the rights to, is now in development at the Take-Two studio, where half of the game's team now works from the old one. Star Theory itself, though, thanks to a combination of suddenly losing its only active project and pandemic-driven complications, shut down in March. So, yeah. Like I said, folks, there's not a lot to talk about. There's really not a lot to talk about as far as the video game news. And I hate that I'm using my phone, but my laptop, I think, is bit the big one here. I will take it home, and I will do what I can to try and get it to work there, and then go from there. But all right, so PlayStation 5 reveal is or the games was delayed, and that was delayed until when? I don't know when they said. Sony has not announced a rescheduled date, so we don't know when they're going to do that. Call of Duty season was delayed. Street Fighter, however, did you see that? Street Fighter did an event.
Yeah, they had this event that just came out on.
Yeah, Street Fighter event
and got a big turnout.
Yeah, last night the Street Fighter subreddit organized an online Street Fighter V tournament to raise money for Black Lives Matter charities in response to the George Floyd situation. They ended up collecting just under $15,000 in something that I guess they organized within
spur of the moment.
a matter of a day.
Hey, let's get together and do all this, and they put the word out. And
The event started small. Tournament organizer and administrator of that subreddit pitched in $200 of his own money and asked folks to donate if possible. In just a few hours, that initial contribution ballooned to thousands. Everyone that joined the tournament got to designate a charity that would receive the prize money should they win. The champion was Kevin. Is it Barrios?
Right, Kevin Dual Kevins.
Dual Kevin, yeah,
Dual
that's
Kevin,
his name. He nominated a charity, but the tournament raised so much more than players had organized envisioned that they agreed to split the money between several different charities. That's fantastic. That they're like, hey, let's raise a little money. Oh God, we've raised too much money. Or not too much. We've raised so much money that we have to do something about it. That I love that, and I love that it came from the gaming community. I think that's fascinating and fantastic that that it happened that way. So, good job for them. That is not what I wanted. This is so much better if I had a laptop. Next thing here, I'm just going to go down the list. The Summer of Gaming event from IGN was pushed back until, what's the 8th, Monday? Today's the 6th.
Yeah, today's the 6th.
7th, 8th. Yeah, it's Monday. The multi-day event was originally set to kick off Friday. They did not do that. So they're starting it on Monday. But I'm curious, what is the... Tell me again what the Summer of Gaming event is. And this article here does not have that. It's kind of like an E3, but I can't...
Wasn't it born off the frustrations of E3?
Not necessarily frustrations. It was born on the fact that, well, I don't know. You know, it may have come about before they canceled E3. It may have been something that they started doing because they were not, yeah, it may have been out of that. But I thought it was born out of the fact that there was no E3 this year, so they were going to do it. I'll have to look that up and see what that is to give you a better idea of what the Summer of Gaming event is. And let me just do that now, because this is what we have to do when our computers don't work.
With the Summer Game Fest?
No, Summer of Gaming IGN. Here we go. Ubisoft and Blizzard have joined the lineup. IGN is proud to announce that Ubisoft, Blizzard, and more are the latest additions to the Summer of Gaming lineup. Let's see. There's a bunch of... we'll have more, plus a schedule. We're happy to announce that Xbox will be a part of it. Yeah, no. Okay, they're going to be a part of it, too. What is it? They're like, oh, they've joined us for our Summer of Gaming event. Good. What is your summer? Here we go. It is a global digital event set to begin in June to bring you the latest news and impressions around upcoming games and the next generation of console hardware. They're collaborating with a bunch of companies. Expect more details in the coming weeks. The event will include live broadcasts and on-demand programming featuring editorial coverage from IGN and the work of game developers from around the world. Okay. All right, so something's happening on Monday with the Summer of Gaming event. I don't know where it'll happen. I don't know what it's going to be, and I don't exactly know when on Monday it's going to happen, because they're doing a real poor job of getting that information out there, unless somebody's posted a link in the chat room that I cannot see. I kept hearing about Sega news. Did you keep hearing about you? I kept hearing things about like, ooh, Sega's got an announcement. Sega's got an announcement.
I heard something about that. Then I heard about that.
Made a tiny ass Game Gear.
Yeah, well, it's not even a mini. Game Gear Mini. It's all Game Gear.
It's
Micro.
a micro.
Micro.
Have you seen this?
The little Tamagotchi keychain size thing. That,
I mean, yeah. Here is a person's hand and the size of that.
I don't think that's an adult hand.
That's a tiny little system. Why? To mark the company's 60th... let's read the article to see if they can fill us in more than IGN can. To mark the company's 60th anniversary, Sega has decided to take one of its notorious systems and re-release it in micro form.
Notorious.
That's what it says. Not the Dreamcast, not the Saturn. It's a Game Gear. It's launching on October 6th in Japan. $45 here in the States. There'll be 4 colors available. Okay. The handheld is only 80 millimeters wide, while the screen is a tiny 1.15 inches. If you pre-order all 4 handhelds at once, this is stupid. You'll get a free replica of the original Game Gear's big window magnifying accessory. But to do that, you must order all 4 of the different colors. Pointless.
$200.
Oh, wait a second. Yeah, the very next line says, now for some of the, and I'll just say BS.
Okay.
Each of the 4 different colors comes with 4 different games installed. This is like gotta catch 'em all type stuff. Right? Like they're not gonna. The black one comes with Sonic, Outrun, Royal Stone, and Puyo. Yeah. The blue one comes with Sonic and Tails, Gunstar Heroes, Sylvan Tale, and Baku Baku. Animal?
Baku Baku, yeah.
Konnichiwa. Red includes Game Gear Shinobi, Columns, and the 2 Megami Tensei Gaiden games.
Megami Tensei?
I'm probably butchering these names. The yellow one has Shining Force 2, Shining Force Final Conflict, and Nazo Puyo Aruru no Ru.
We're going to have to talk later about your Japanese pronunciation.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Nazo Puyo
Please stop.
Aruru no Ru.
Jeez.
Sorry. I'm trying my best.
Wait a minute. I've listened to you do roll call. That's so I shouldn't be surprised.
Right,
Man,
no, you shouldn't be surprised at that. Come on, man. Okay, well then there you go. So
it's like I can see some really good games. One really good game on each of those. Each color.
But why would you want it?
But I can't. I couldn't play that, man.
I don't understand why you would want it at all.
I'm trying to think of the Dreamcast memory unit, the VMU.
Yeah.
Because trying to do little games on that.
Because you could play a little game on that. Yeah,
I couldn't do it with my
big
hands. I couldn't do that.
I remember the VMU.
So I never used it that much.
I just don't understand what this is. It's just, no, man, no. Let's.
We'll put it in the chat room the image of that Game Gear Micro.
Oh.
That is so tiny it's impractical.
Is everybody? Are we still? Are we broadcasting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Legit. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
I just read a text saying that show went offline, but I'm like, what? That's when I started looking back and checking on things. Yeah. Good. Glad we're still up. Where are we at? This show is going to be like watching the Destiny 2 events. It's really long with a very little payoff.
Yeah.
It is a long build up with very little payoff.
Unless it hits the Earth.
Oh, it hit the Earth.
Oh, so game's over. You failed.
No, not really. I'll tell you about it once it happens. Right now, we're looking and we're like, what's going on? Some of us have been kicked. Some of us haven't. And at about, sure, I could go ahead and say it about this time because when we're coming up on the, that was flashing a minute ago. We're coming up on the time when we're all kind of just like, just nothing. There's nothing happening. What's going on? We're all talking to each other because we're in Discord and we're like, oh, my music changed. Nah, your music's on a loop. I don't have any music. Well, maybe something's happening. Let's go and check the internet to see if anybody's got anything to say. People are saying like, oh, it's still happening. You've got to wait. Blah, blah, blah. At about this time, Random notices some stuff in the air in the skybox. He's like, oh, there's some lines. Look at those little lines. And he was talking about these, I guess probably what's considered contrails that are in the sky. They've always been there. But mere minutes later, somebody says, "Oh, look, there's some lines in the sky." And I was like, "No, man, they've already been there." No, these are different. Sure enough, if you're looking at the almighty ship blocking out the sun, and you look just above it and then to the right, I don't know what direction in the world that would be because I have no idea what this, the game
where
doesn't.
where you looking at it from?
I can't tell you it's north, east, south, or west. I can't. So because I don't know if the sun is setting or rising in this game, which side it's on. I have no idea. But if you look up and you look towards the right, above where the Almighty is, you see what looks like these very, very faint red lines. Just these, it looks like a very large firework has gone off in the distance and you're seeing the trails come out. But I mean, way off in the distance, in space. And so you see these red lines start to trail into the sky. It's very faint and whatever, and you're like, has that always been there? And as you see, it's starting to get bigger. The lines are getting longer, and you're like, no, this is it. That's the stuff that Rasputin fired from all his bunkers and stuff, or the missiles and things. Because there's bunkers on Earth, the Moon, and Io, out by Jupiter. So, and so they have fired. So we're seeing this, and we're like, okay, what's going to happen? Well, I'll tell you when we get there because we're doing this in real time.
Yeah. A mile before it hits the surface, the projectiles hit or something.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. So they told us to be there at reset, which we were. And we're all looking at this thing, and reset comes, and it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, and we're like, okay. When's it going to start? When's it going to do a thing? We're waiting. And then finally we see the red lines, and we're like, oh, okay, good. Now what? You just wait again. You have to wait. And hopefully we'll find out what happens. So yeah, now we're staring at this, and now we see the red lines, and we're like, okay, something's happening. We just have to wait for it to take place. And we're wondering, is this something that's going to be...
There's a lot of build-up so far from what you described.
No kidding, man. We're wondering if it's going to be a situation where it's like, okay, this has started. You come back on Tuesday, and you can see progress of it.
Yeah,
you come back then, you see...
we were told from the get-go of the season that this was going to happen. That was the whole storyline. They told you this before you started going to all over the places to beef up Rasputin's defenses and everything.
Yes, everything that we were trying to do.
So at the start of the season, that's where the start of the build-up was. And now here we are, months later.
Yeah.
And you just now get to this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trying to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we would be. Who is in the chat room?
Let's see.
Just want to say hello to them.
Okay. Let's see. We got AC Wraith at 10. We got Bama Bryan 17. We got Casket Sharp, Commander Root.
Sorry, Casket Sharp always makes me laugh.
Okay. Commander Root. We got Lethal Migraine, Lowercase Rocket, Motile, Stephen Van Dam, and Thar 66.
I appreciate you guys being there. Thank you so much. We're going to get this laptop thing fixed. I know it has no impact on the show whatsoever, but it's annoying to me. It's also worrisome to me because I really need that thing to work for my actual job.
Yeah, it's the work computer.
It is kind of, sort of. I need to make it work. What do we got coming up? Oh, you know what? We never went over games we played. Have you played anything?
The only thing I played is Phantasy Star Online 2. Leveling up in that. I got to about level 22 this morning. Trying to catch up with some friends of mine who turned me on to the game, really. He's at level 41 right now. Unfortunately, he has a group that we want to play with, but I got to do a lot of Discord, and I'm not familiar with Discord, so that's going to be something in and of itself, me trying to get
Hey,
used
you
to.
get into that Discord, we're going to get you into our in-game, our
Destiny thing?
Yes.
Okay.
That
there
thing
you
I'm
go.
trying to talk about that I can't think of the name for that I
Yeah.
put time in every damn day.
Yeah. So, playing the game, it's been out of Japan for like, what, 7, 8, how many years? It's been out in Japan for
What's
years.
the name of the game again?
Fantasy Star Online
Yeah,
2.
yeah, yeah.
So it's been out in Japan for years, so they're way ahead of us. And a lot of people
Yeah.
who've been playing it have been playing it on their service for all this time. So we're just playing a lot of catch up. Because I tried to play it on the Japanese service, and it never panned out for me. My computer wasn't good enough, and I didn't know how to get the programs to work right, things of that nature. So I'm late to the party. But I've been playing Fantasy Star Online for a while since it was on Dreamcast and a little bit on PC with Blue Burst and Fantasy Star Universe. I think Fantasy Star Universe was the last one I played, but I've been getting back into the swing of things with Fantasy Star Online 2, and I've made my same character I've always had, a ranger with force ability. So basically a long-range support character.
Yeah.
You know, while you're up close, well and away, I got a rifle at a distance, picking my shots. And if you need help, I'll just run in and throw out a quick spell, go back out, lather, rinse, repeat. That's what I've always done in the game, and I'm doing it again here. And then I've been playing Grand Theft Auto Online,
Right.
and with a whole bunch of people new to the game since it was released for free. You know,
On
a lot of
Epic,
folks
yeah.
so we got some new folks. A lot of folks playing. Interest has picked up again, so a lot of folks are playing on PS4 as well. And we still have griefers at this point. And
Of course you do.
yeah, but it
That ain't going away.
Yeah, it's not going away. But man, it's just
That ain't going away ever.
it's just a thing that
I know,
the
it
people-
sucks,
the people-
but
yeah,
it
I know
ain't
it
going
sucks.
away.
I just found out recently how much you get what you get from blowing up someone's product and everything. Like if I sold a full nightclub, which takes about 18 to 20 hours to build completely, I can get about $2 million if I sell it, and in a full lobby, I can probably get about 2.5, 2.5 close to 3, right?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me in this one vehicle worth up to $2.8 million, if you blow it up, you only get $2,000? You could stand still and leave me.
Game logic.
You could stand still, leave me alone, and get a good behavior bonus and
No,
get
yeah, I know.
$2,000.
I know.
But no.
I know.
And they
That's
say
game logic.
it's your rivals. We're not rivals. When I benefit and make money, I don't take any from you. So I don't get it.
Of course, I know. Look, I get it. I know it's game logic.
Or
That's
at
what it
this
is.
point, as old as the game is, people just want to do it just to tick people off.
There's that too. So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we'll tell you what games I played when we come back. And yes, I have played other than Destiny 2. I tell you, well, I'll give you I'll tell you the whole story when we come back. Music here from a game called Those Who Remain. I tried to get music from it last week, but there was nothing out there. But this is a game called Those Who Remain. I want to say it's like a psychological horror, scary, spooky game.
The title makes me think of I Am Alive or something with isolation type of
Yeah,
thing.
it's something
Yeah.
akin to that, I think. But yeah, it's just the main theme from that. We'll be back with more of in-game chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chats. Music from a game called Ancestors Legacy. Ancestors Legacy. The track is called Grave Dancers of Odin. It is a Norse type of Viking game. I don't exactly know what you do, but...
Grave Dancers.
Grave Dancers of Odin.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you know why I really picked it. It just had a really cool title. Grave Dancers of Odin. Odin's son. I'm a grave dancer. That was a game that was part of the Humble Bundle for May. And we have June's Humble Bundle selections. Which, by the way, it's $12. 12, maybe it's $13 a year. Not a year. That'd be great. I think it's $12, $13 a month. You get 8 games every month. This was in last week's package. One of the games that was in last week's package. I know that's how I got Hellblade.
Oh yeah,
was through that. They've had quite a few. It's how I got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That was another one that they did. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, their subscription service is $20 a month. However, I was grandfathered in.
Oh, okay.
Because I had started it back in June of last year.
Yeah.
And so, which I stopped for a while, which is amazing. I missed February, March, April. I missed February, March, and April. Maybe even January, too. Because I had not updated my payment method. Okay. So it was just like, hey, we can't charge you. But they didn't necessarily cancel my subscription. And they didn't recharge me all those months previous afterwards because I didn't get any free games those months. So I couldn't do it. But they didn't, in other words, they didn't cancel my situation, so I'm still part of the $12 a month thing. I would have thought, not having my payment updated and everything else, they would have, okay, well, it's lapsed. You got to go back to the $20 thing. They did not do that. They did not do that.
Cool.
Yeah, well, here it says here's what May looked like. Let me tell you what May had. May had Jurassic World Evolution, XCOM 2 plus DLC, a game called Rise of Industry, a game called Niche, a genetics survival game, a Warhammer 40,000 game called Gladius, The Swords of Ditto, a game called Warsaw, a game called Heave Ho, a game called M.O. Astray, which we've got coming up that's the next track we'll play. Another one called Neo Universe, which is a card battle game. Chess Ultra, which is about chess. And a game called Horus. This month's games, he tries to say, Supraland is in there. Grid Ultimate Edition. Hellblade is back on the menu. That is interesting. The Messenger.
Okay.
Barotrauma. Felix the Reaper, which I have talked about that I played. Kind of puzzling or whatever.
Yeah, you did.
Men of War, Assault Squad 2 War Chest Edition. God, that's a long title. Stygian, Reign of the Old Ones. Remnants of Nezith. Overload, The Stillness of the Wind, and The King's Bird. Humble boast that the total cost of all of the above comes out to $400. You should recognize some of the list, but Hellblade and The Messenger are likely the most popular gets. The former is a highly experimental game from Ninja Theory. Yeah, we know about that. Concerning mental health and grief. And the latter is a thrill ride of a retro homage, and it has ninjas, which is as 80s, 90s as it gets. They're all available today, and you can get them. King's Bird is also good. I have played King's Bird at PAX. It's a platformer, very simple type platformer, but I like the aesthetic, and I enjoyed what little bit of I played, what little bit of it that I did play. I was curious about The Messenger, but Felix I already played on thing, the Xbox, and I'm like, yeah. So that's how I feel. So games that I played. What did I play? I did play Destiny. I finally got to level 100.
Oh, okay.
For the season pass. Normally I'm way beyond that thing, but I just did not put in the effort this season. I don't know if I'm going to put in the effort next season either, but because I don't know anything about it. This is interesting. We're going into next season on Tuesday not knowing a thing about it. We have no idea. Normally they do like a thing where they give you an idea of what's going to, they run through like, hey, here's the changes, here's how it's implemented, here's what we're going to see. It's tons of stuff. You get information. You have an idea. None of that. We get none. This is the first season we're going in completely blind. Now, Tuesday, they are going to do an event where we get to see what the expansion coming out in September is going to be. They give us some details on that. Still not getting any idea what we're getting on Tuesday at Reset. And we had no idea what this fourth season of the third year is going to be like. So interesting. It's experimental. They're trying new things, I guess. Or they're making it seem like they're trying new things after other things fell through. I have no idea. So, what else did I play? I played Destiny. I did that. I got to my limit, and I said, okay, that's done. I actually was going to try and play some more, but then the moment I thought about doing it, I was like, I don't need to. I'm going to be putting in a lot of time with it next week whenever this whole, when the new season starts. So let's not drain ourselves here. You've done enough. You've gotten to you've good enough. You don't have to do a bunch of other stuff. So I'm not. I got my bow. I put in time on Sunday and played a lot of Gambit and got that bow. Hush, I think is what it's called. I got that bow because we were talking to Sarah about it last week. So yeah, and then I played Rise of the Tomb Raider. More of that.
Some side quests or story mode?
I am strictly hitting the story now.
Strictly story.
I am not even trying to do side quests. If I find a tomb, if I come upon a tomb, or I come upon a thing where it's like, hey, there's a tomb nearby, you should try and find the entrance. I'll do it because I like the tomb. That's the part. My favorite part of Tomb Raider is the puzzles, is the environmental puzzles. That's the stuff I love. The climbing, the moving around, the pushing objects out of here, and tie a rope around this thing, pull here, that's going to lift this up, and you're going to be able to get to the part that you need to get to. I like that. I like figuring that out. I don't like the combat at all. It's okay, but I hate the combat. I hate it. And I'm getting into the point of the game towards the end there where it's going to be a lot more combat and a lot less environmental puzzles. What? You look like
I'm trying to think of the part where it's like, it's not like the like Uncharted where, it focuses on action. She's not really. This is like she would her younger self, right?
Yeah,
Lara's her younger self.
Yeah,
but she's not a brawler type in this thing anyway. Right?
She's not, but she's
not built.
I am. That. I mean, I am geared up, man. I got shotguns and handguns and bows.
Oh, I'm about to say pick them off.
I mean, I got a ton. I got great firepower. Trust me, I have no problem with the combat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I don't like it only for the fact that it's not solving puzzles. It's just shoot, bang, bang, and not, let me figure out how I'm going to do this. Now, it's fun. Now, again, Tomb Raider was never built on a stealth-type game. It's not Splinter Cell. It's not something that is that is trying to be stealthy. So there are some aspects of stealth.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily give you all the tools that a truly stealth game would give you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hide up in the trees and not poke them, but I can take them out from there. I can get in the bushes and kind of hide, but most of the time, it is me trying to find something that'll do the most damage so I can have the least amount of enemies on the field. Rather than taking them out one by one. And I will do that if I feel like I can make it around and kind of do the perimeter and take out guards here and there. I will do that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I take out the ones that are necessary or near me that I can do, and then I wait for them to gather around a conveniently placed red barrel.
We love the red barrels.
And I fire myself an explosive arrow into the barrel and just boom, which alerts like a ton of other guards, which is whatever, because then I pull out my shotgun that's got explosive rounds or not incendiary rounds on my shotguns. It's bang, 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 bang. Okay, we're done. So, yeah. But I hate the combat. I just want to solve puzzles. Let me solve puzzles.
Did you feel the same way in Uncharted?
For the most part, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They pace those out pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've never been a fan. The combat is okay in Uncharted. They've got a cover system. There's no cover system for Tomb Raider.
Really?
No. She kind of goes into cover when she's behind something, but but
there's no set mechanic, like
right.
hit this button to go into
cover?
cover?
Yeah, there's no set mechanic for that.
Oh.
That I'm aware of. I could be wrong.
I'm about to say that'd be a glaring oversight in my opinion. I can't think of a combat where you don't have something that lets you
There's
go into
there's
cover.
places for you to take cover, but I don't think there's a button that instigates the cover mechanic. I think you just get up on it and you're cover, and that's just you protecting yourself until you can get a shot off. But yeah, Uncharted has a cover system. Uncharted still does it better for me as far as combat, and I think puzzle goes. But, well, you know what? Uncharted does a lot of it better. Uncharted tells a story better. Uncharted has better, I don't want to say acting or whatever, but the whole package is just, it feels like it's much better than what I'm playing in Tomb Raider. But Tomb Raider, of course, feels, that's the legacy. Everybody says that Uncharted was just male Tomb Raider, and that's fine for it to get that description, but it sort of eclipsed what Tomb Raider was. It gave you a fantastic story, and it really did. It gave you a great story from 1 through 4. Good story, and good gameplay, good mechanics. Everything was good on it. Credit to Naughty Dog. The stuff from Tomb Raider, which is what, Squeenix Eidos, I think? It's okay. It is. And I like it, but I'm playing it because there's no Uncharted to play. Yeah. You could put it in that perspective. There actually is. I have not gotten anywhere near the ending of Lost Legacy. So I should be putting in time on that, but I haven't. So yeah, that's it though. Destiny and Tomb Raider. Really all I played. Power was out last night for about 2 hours.
Storm came through.
Yeah. Knocked the power out, and thankfully my iPad was charged. But my iPad doesn't have cellular; it's just a regular Wi-Fi type thing. So I played this game on there called Pac-Man 256.
Oh yeah, I remember
it's that Infinite Runner little Pac-Man looking thing. It's not. It's really kind of annoying, but with no internet, I didn't have to watch ads a bunch while I was playing it. I could just keep, trying to outdo my score and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, that was nice. So that's what I played. All right, so I need to give you an update on the Almighty and what's going on in Destiny now.
It moved an inch.
No. At this point, not only do we have the red lasers coming in from above, the Almighty, we now have red lasers that are coming in from under it. They're all kind of coming in under it. And as soon as they start to touch, which is about this time or so, they would start to be doing that, you can see the explosions going off in the air. It looks like glitter from where we're at.
Yeah.
It looks like it's sparkly. It looks like the Almighty is sparkly. And so it's doing these explosions and sparkle stuff, and we're wondering, is there a force field around it because it's not breaking apart or it's not doing this thing? We don't know.
So these things are coming from two directions?
Yeah, one from underneath. Well, it's coming from different points in space.
Yeah, so EO, the Earth, and the Moon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we got two
and we
spots
figure the
there.
ones that are coming from underneath are probably the ones coming from Earth. The ones that are coming in from the sky obviously would be Io and the Moon.
Yeah.
And so those are coming in, they're starting to hit, and we're just looking at it, and we're like, is this going to be it? Is it just going to keep doing this? So like every time we log in, we'll see that it's still being bombarded with with missiles and warsats and everything else that's being shot at, and then over time we'll see new progress. What's going to happen? And so some people started tweeting like, no, this takes time. It's still going. Stay tuned. Then somebody looked at Steam and there's an event saying, hey, it's called Sister's Fury or Sister's Revenge or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Steam has registered as a live event, and it's like live now. And then it shows a timer. It says ends in such and such time.
Sisters, what this Oryx is spawn? or whatever?
No, I don't think so. I'd have to go back and look at it and see what exactly
I'm
says.
thinking what sisters in Destiny would be upset.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's what it's what they had it called or labeled for the live event. So yeah, so that's happening, and we're seeing all this sparkly stuff, and then it's just like, okay, well, we'll just wait and see what's going on. Some time goes by, and then we look at it again, and the explosions of stuff have increased around the center of the Almighty. And to tell you what the Almighty looks like, it looks like a giant H on its side. If you took the letter H, you turned it on its side, then you would have the center part, turn the center part into just a ball, mm-hmm. And then the two lines on top and on bottom. So those are the wings of it. And so that ball in the center suddenly has a whole lot more explosions around it. And we're like, ooh, that's new. It's something happening. So we're sitting there waiting. Anyway, since we've been doing this in real time, 90 minutes go by. They told you to be in the tower at reset, which was at noon our time. Mm-hmm. This thing was scheduled to end at 1:30, which was an hour and a half later. We didn't necessarily know any of that when we got in. We thought, better be there at reset because something's going to happen. Had we known that it was going to be something like, it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll log in later. So that's going on. Then suddenly, and I do mean suddenly, I think I was looking at my inventory and I heard a noise. And so I went straight back to the game screen because I was looking in the inventory so I wouldn't see what was going on. And I heard a noise of something. And I went back to the game screen, and the screen has gotten white, like something bright is flushed out the screen, and and as soon as that's done, you start seeing debris coming across the sky, and you also see a massive piece of fiery debris, very large piece, start moving. It's moving very slowly, but it's on fire and it's moving. It's in our atmosphere at this point, that sort of thing. We're like, oh, look at that. Yeah, well, it's great. Woo, yay.
This is great.
Well, because we'd been waiting. We're like, okay, this is happening. Look, I don't know who it was, but somebody took a 90-minute event and trimmed it down to 4 minutes. So, you can go online and find the video of everything that happened. And so we were all down there where Zavala is, which, by the way, all the NPCs, when you logged in at the beginning, all the NPCs that are in the tower, the human people, everything, they've all turned and faced the Almighty that's in the sun. They're all pointing with concern on their face. Zavala, the Titan Vanguard, he's turned his position and looking up at it. Shax is not under the thing anymore. He's out on the other side looking up at it there. If you go to the other side where Ikora Ray and Hawthorne are, they are all moved looking up at the thing as well, while everybody else is doing the same thing, the NPCs. So everybody's looking at this. As it burns across the sky past the tower we're at, we all go up to the back end of the tower where... do you know that little game on the tower bridge? It's called... the Flores Lava Challenge, where you pick up that ball. Yeah. So we're up there on one of those two landings that are up at the top, because that's where you can really see it, because it's moving past that area, going out to the mountains that are out behind where the tower is, and then it finally hits, And again, the screen goes white and then comes back, and suddenly you're seeing the shockwave come across the Earth towards the tower. And when it does, it all kind of pushes everybody back a bit. That was kind of cool, because it all pushed us a little bit, just kind of jump. At that point, for me and for some others, the tower had changed at that point. For some, they had to leave and come back in order to get the change in the tower. But over by Zavala is this massive chunk of the tower that has been taken out from debris that had hit it. And, you go there and you scan that with your little ghost thing and you get an emblem. So make sure you log in and get your emblem for that. But when you talk to Zavala, and I mean, I'd have to give you a huge background on the story of this. So trying to tell RJ is one thing because he knows the background. If you don't, you have no idea. But Zavala is the guy. He's kind of the leader of the Titans. He's a Titan who's made it into the government ranks, I guess you could say. Official capacity. Put it that way. He has been, and Titans are exactly what you think they sound like. They're your big, burly...
They're your tanks.
Which, not that this game has those kind of things, because everybody's the same, but they are considered like your tanks. We're the
close range fisticuffs type person. We take the we were on the forefront.
Big head, no thoughts. Basically,
defensive based.
Yeah. We run in and we punch first. If this doesn't work, try punching it. Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's not working, we'll hit it.
There's a legendary description of one of the folks. I think it's the one with the grenade launcher, the single shot grenade launcher. You read the lore on it.
Fighting Lion.
Yeah, the Fighting Lion. You read about the Titan who wielded this weapon.
Right.
You get a pretty good idea what a Titan is all about.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she punches mountains.
Right.
And keeps doing so until it moves. So, that's a Titan, folks.
So anyway, knowing that about him, and then earlier in the season when this thing happened, we're telling him about something called Rasputin.
Yeah.
Rasputin is the name of this satellite defense system that is an AI, has its own mind. And Zavala is very sketchy about it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like that an AI has that much power and is in control and can do those things. He's not on board with it.
No, he's got issues with it.
He's got reservations about it.
He's not the only one.
He's not. But Anna Bray, who runs the Mars stuff, and is very, very much, she's probably the closest connected to Rasputin than any other person out there. She is trying to convince Zavala, please, you have to let him do this. This is our only chance at stopping the collision course for this thing. So he's completely against it. In a cutscene earlier on in the season, Zavala makes his way into one of the Rasputin bunkers and talks to Rasputin. And Rasputin, even though he can't really understand each other, Rasputin's able to give him this map of the universe and showing him these things and showing him this is where you were, this is what is coming, I can show you this, I can help you with this, and that sort of thing. Zavala eventually gives in and says, okay, please help us. So he does. Anyway, when you talk to Zavala after this is all over with, Zavala has this, and you'll talk to him when you go into the tower. Zavala has this odd pride that you haven't seen in him before. Very boastful. Very, we did it. Nothing can stop us. With the help of blah, 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 we have pushed back. Oh, I see great days ahead of us. This is he gets very, very boastful. Very careful Icarus type of thing. Flying too close to the sun.
Yeah.
He's very prideful about this. It's something you really don't see in him a lot, and really you haven't seen in him a lot since the opening of Destiny 2. I know I'm putting a lot of investment into these characters, but this is what I've been playing for God knows how long. So I know the reaction, but this is the reaction that they're going for, though. I think they're trying to set him up because of what is coming next, which are the pyramid ships that have started to enter into our solar system. They're currently hanging out by, I believe, Titan, Saturn, the planet Saturn. They've made their way. And these have been the big bads since D1 days. These have been the big bads since D1 concept art days, where it's like, this is the darkness, we're not going to talk about them. And they haven't for years until just this new expansion and everything else, when we actually got to board one of those ships and actually meet what is called the darkness. So, anyway, I think they're setting him up again for that, but we'll see. It's just it was an interesting take to get from him, to see him like that. He's not normally like that. He's much more calculated than that. He's much more, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
We should keep our guard up. Very much like that. Cade was always the
Cade was always a freewheeling, footloose.
Right, he's the gunslinger. He's the cool. He's the Han Solo.
Ask questions later. Yeah.
Right. He's the Han Solo. And of course, I don't know where I would put Zavala. I don't think it can't be the Obi-Wan.
Zavala's like by the book, must follow procedure.
Yeah, so is Ikora, really.
Yeah,
with the exception of some things.
Yeah, when she's in the Crucible.
Right, she's Ikora's the wizard. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah. I think I've bored you all to death. I think I've completely bored you all to death. So just giving you a background on some of that. There's very little to talk about, so telling you about that was something. So we waited like 90 minutes to get that sort of event happening.
And dude cut it down to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's something that I could have logged in and just caught the last 4 minutes of, and I'd have been fine.
Yeah. So one of them YouTube things, just wait for the YouTube video and be done with it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to take a break. Like I said, this is music from a game called M.O. Astray. It looks like M.O. Ashtray. I don't know why. But it's M.O. Astray. And I don't want to say it's called Mo Astray. I think it's just M.O. Like modus operandi astray. Maybe. I don't know.
Any periods in there?
Nah, I don't remember. I didn't put them in here when I labeled the thing, but I can't remember on the actual game itself. You would have to look it up to see what that is if you wanted to. But it's the main theme from that game. And we'll be right back with more of In-Game Chats. I'm going to check my text and see how many people are like, will you stop talking about Destiny? We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music there from a game called Phantom Doctrine. I think also another game you could get off of the Humble thing last week, or last month. So,
A turn-based espionage thriller.
huh. Not at all interested. I like the espionage thriller part. That turn-based, though, I'm like, no.
It was like, what was it called? Dang, Infiltration Inc. or something?
Invisible Ink.
Invisible Inc. Thank you.
Yeah.
That one.
I kind of like that one, though.
Yeah, I think I gave it a shot. Like a couple of plays on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like some of it, but I'm not big on the turn-based and the, I don't know. Not big on that.
Took me a little getting used to.
Like
but
the freedom
I'll probably
to just,
go back to it eventually.
Yeah. What do we have? Ooh, a bunch of EA games got added to Steam this week. With the fact that, or with the announcement that EA Access will be coming to Steam.
Oh.
Previously, you could only get this through Xbox and then through Origin, EA Origin, their storefront on PC. But apparently now they're going to offer it through Steam as well. Not a bad idea. They had a Dragon Age 2, Crysis 3, Plants vs. Zombies, Need for Speed Rivals, Need for Speed Unravel, Sea of Solitude, Dragon Age Inquisition, Unravel 2, and Mirror's Edge Catalyst, plus Burnout Paradise. Remastered, by the way.
Yet another one of those titles I picked up, but haven't started yet. Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Yeah, EA Access on Steam will run you the same as on consoles and on Origin PC, which is $5 a month or $30 per year. All that is let you play a bunch of EA games without buying the games themselves. So if I had EA Access, all those games I just listed, I'd be able to play those without actually buying them. So I actually like EA Access. And so it coming to Steam doesn't really change my mind on it too much, because wouldn't I have already bought it on Origins if I was really interested?
You still got access, so.
So, yeah, doesn't really change my mind too much on it. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just that I don't currently have no need for it.
Yeah.
So, what else do we have? Destiny 2, we talked about that. We talked about, everything. Pretty much done.
Okay.
EA Play, their E3 sort of event thing was delayed until June 18th. So that's when they're going to do theirs. Which makes me, I don't know when, I have no idea. It's so weird that we didn't have a schedule for E3, you know? Of when these things were going to take place, when people were going to do their presentations or their virtual press conferences.
Well, look, with all the stuff going on, it's going to be a play-it-by-ear type situation.
Yeah, so normally we would have these schedules, and it would be nice to have that schedule, but even before this stuff happens, I mean, even before the even before the protests and everything, we still didn't know. We had some dates with this IGN thing, and then the EA Play, I don't remember when it was scheduled, but they moved it to June 18th. But, yeah. But now we know. So we'll just have to wait and see. What's probably going to happen is something's going to happen during the week, and then we'll come at the end of the week on Saturday and tell you about all those things that happened. We'll have something to talk about. So I hope we have some more to talk about.
Who will?
There just wasn't a lot. There really wasn't a lot going on as far as video game news was concerned.
Yeah.
There was not a lot. So June 19th, we've got the release of Last of Us 2. So that's something to look forward to that's coming out. But that's not this week, but week after next. Yeah. Let's see, if June 19th is a Friday, that means the EA Play June 18th thing, that's on a Thursday. So, anyway.
So what will you be playing the rest until next time?
I mean, Destiny 2 starts a new season Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Other than that,
I mean, Destiny 2 starts a new season on Tuesday.
there's got to be something else on your radar. Something else. Something hit the backlog. I got a backlog.
Well, I told you I'm working on Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm. So,
So
you're playing that.
yeah, I'm doing Rise of the Tomb Raider now. And when I'm done with that, I'll jump over to Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily know that I will, but,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Destiny's going to come out with it. I can't tell. I don't know. Because they've given me nothing. They've given me no indication of what to expect with the new season. Are we going to have legacy weapons? Or I don't know what they're called, legacy weapons. They're called, what are they called? Weapons that are tied to Crucible and to Gambit and to everything else, where, you got to do you got to grind a bunch to get these weapons, and you can only get them by playing, that mode type of thing, Gambit or Crucible or something like that. We've always gotten them, and we really have. They're I can't remember what they're called. Pinnacle weapons, maybe? I don't know. But there's stuff you get from doing other things. Grind stuff is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Like put in a whole bunch of time and effort and everything else in this one event so you can get this one gun. That's the only way to do it. And that's really where I put a whole bunch of my time with up until this past season when they stopped that. Was like, got to get the guns. And now they've stopped. They made it easier the season prior. They made it pretty easy to get those guns. And I was expecting to have to, put in the effort again for this season, but they didn't even do it this season. Season was a breeze. And a lot of people have a lot of complaints about that. But I didn't. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday. Again, we don't know. I have no idea. Nobody knows what to expect for this coming season on Tuesday. Now, I say that, and if they issue some statement between now and whenever you hear this, know that this is the only information that I had going in on Saturday at 15 till 6 p.m. Central Time, in case for some reason they do release some sort of information. Otherwise, we just don't know. Don't even know the name of it. It's been season of whatever, season of this, season of that, season of this, season of that. We don't know what this season is even called.
Season of grinding.
So we have no idea.
That's
well, that's every season.
Yeah, so
that's the subtitle for every season.
Yes, when you forget a name, there you go. Season of grinding. That's it.
But maybe not. This past season was not a season of grinding. To me.
I'm about to say, you felt like it to me, man.
But it wasn't to me, only for the fact that because I had put in a massive grind on those other seasons. So this one that was like a community event where it's the community doing the grinding. It's like, okay, fine. Let them have at it. They'll get there. But yeah, I don't know. This wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't fulfilling. It was actually kind of nice to have the break. And we'll see what we're going to get out of this next season, but we won't know until Tuesday when it resets. So, I mean, I'm talking about Destiny now. Guess what I'm going to be talking about next week? Destiny. Yeah. Because I'll know something. I mean, by next week, we're going to know what their new expansion is for September. We'll have an idea of what this season is bringing us that starts on Tuesday. That's in the Destiny realm. IGN's gameplay summer thing is cranking out on Monday, and I have no idea what we'll get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of next week from them because of it. So maybe more there, too. On top of, I don't know, whatever else may be coming down the pipe. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Well, in my case, I'll still be working on Phantasy Star Online. I figure, given a few more days of play, I'll be able to get more familiar with the systems and everything like that. Get back into the swing of things from my Phantasy Star Universe and Blueburst days. Supporting and helping folks out. I've got some folks who've decided to play with me because we're on the same ship. Everybody's on ship 2 normally, but we got characters on ship 3, so we'll be able to get together quicker and do that. Yeah, having a lot of fun with it, so I think I'll be doing that mostly all next week. And then, of course, I got to get back in my fighting games. I haven't played my fighting games in a while. I've got a bunch of...
You getting rusty, sir.
Yeah. Nothing that a few losses in ranked mode won't fix. watch some videos, get some playtime in that, and get my skills back, really, and see if they've updated anything. And maybe I'll get to my backlog as well, because that thing's getting bigger all the time.
I'm trying to think of what it was I wanted to play, and I don't know.
Console or PC?
Normally PC is where I go on that, only for the fact that I've got just a massive Steam library, and I see it every day when I log in to go play Destiny 2. I see a massive Steam library. Mm-hmm. I see it every Friday when I'm trying to find music for the show. I see my backlog. Mm-hmm. You know, I also see what games are coming out or what games have come out, and be like, oh yeah. You know, I checked my Switch yesterday. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, it was this morning. I checked it this morning because it was dead. I had let the power drain on it for like 2 weeks or whatever. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, last night when the power was out, I was like, let me check my Switch. And of course, it's dead, and I can't plug it up to get charged. So I plugged it up last night after the power came back on, left it on overnight, turned it on, still won't get past the Switch logo screen. Mm-hmm. Still just sticks there. So just kind of sitting around waiting for Nintendo to open back up so they can fix my stuff.
Well, at least you have something to keep you occupied until then.
I do. Mm-hmm. Man, I wish there was something else I could talk about. It's just not been a busy week, game-wise.
Yeah.
So
everything's being canceled. Other things are going on, of course. So yeah.
We used to run into these things leading up to E3. People would go very silent on stuff. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't have a lot of things because everybody was just like, let's not talk about that until E3. Mm-hmm. Let's just hold off on that until E3. And we don't have an E3. So, I don't know. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to talk about games that Sony's PS5 was going to play. Don't have it. I don't know when Microsoft is going to do their thing. They're going to do something. I don't know when, but they're going to do something. They're supposed to. Both of these companies have brand new consoles hitting the market this year, and we know very little about them. I say we know very little. We know very little about price and release date. We actually know a lot about them, but we don't know what the price point is, and that's really what everybody's waiting on.
You know, we hear a lot about the performance and everything else, but things that we want to know right now, they're not dishing out on.
It's the main thing that we always discuss. It's like, well, it depends. How much is it? We'll find out how much it's going to be.
Yeah, how much does it cost and what you got coming on it?
Yeah.
At launch.
Can't think of any other gaming news going on. Mm-mm. Wait a second. Let me check. I forget I had my phone right here. That I've been using to figure out stuff. Let me go to my feeds here for gaming. Oh, wow, 52 stories. What do we have that I've missed? What are we all playing this weekend? What are you playing this week? EA Play Live has been delayed a week. We talked about that. Steam Game Festival is delayed. Destiny 2 gets its first Fortnite-style live event today.
Fortnite. Okay.
That's what they kind of related to. I don't know why.
Easy name recognition or something? I don't know.
No, this is sure. Well, I have nothing here. Absolutely nothing to tell you.
Well,
of course, this is coming from 7 hours ago. I need to. Destiny's in-game event is about to kick off.
That's all I got in my feed. A bunch of Destiny.
Right?
A little talk about Shantae and the Seven Sirens. That's another title I need to start up on. Collecting them, but I haven't started playing them.
Summer Games Done Quick is going to be online only. That's no surprise. Mm-hmm. Giant spaceship blows up very slowly in Destiny 2's first major live event. It totally did, dude.
Emphasis on very slowly. Like we said before, the build-up was...
It moved real slow. The internet reacts to Destiny 2's slowly exploding spaceship. I knew this was going to be the. I knew this was going to be the. Was going to be the reaction was like that took a long. It took much longer than it should have.
Mm-hmm.
Today, thousands of gamers around the world met in Destiny 2 and then spent like a solid hour waiting and waiting and waiting for the game's first big live event. Eventually, something happened. A big ship was destroyed. It took a long time. It wasn't very exciting until the end, and a lot of people were disappointed by the whole thing. However, it wasn't all bad. A lot of folks gathered together and had fun with emotes and posting about the event on Twitter, and because the whole thing took so long and was a bit late, it meant a lot of people on the internet had time to react. This took the form of a lot of jokes and memes.
And I'm looking at some of them now. Wow. Dude's got his dude got a picture of his handgun pointing at the sun.
I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Yep.
Someone took a picture of a hunter with the distracted emote on the smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And behind him, the ship is coming down.
After the ship was destroyed, the jokes and criticism continued to flow like low-level engrams. Feedback time, it's cool, but if it starts at 10 a.m. Pacific, it should start at 10 a.m. Pacific. Grace period of 5 minutes. These things are like a concert. The show starts regardless of audience members not all being there. Buddy of mine had to go to work because it took so long. Destiny Twitter right now is a meme of the old man yells at cloud thing, which is exactly what we're doing. We were yelling at the sky. Mm-hmm. Let's see. You had to be there. Nobody but Zavala has anything to say about the fact that a blown-up space station just crashed into the Earth. That's the other thing. It's real hard to do these things and make them environmental feel when only one person has anything to say. Ikora has nothing to say. Hawthorne has nothing to say. Nobody has anything to say except for him and Anna Bray if you go to Mars. That's it. Nobody has anything else to say. Shaq says nothing, you know?
And Shaq says a lot normally.
Right. They should react. You know, you should go to Earth as EDZ and talk to Devrim, you know, when you talk to him, who's like your contact there. He should be like, something fell over those mountains over there. You might want to go look at that. But nothing, says nothing. So, I don't know. It's hard to do that. In a game that's already massive for what they do, and Fortnite's the same way. It's very hard to kind of keep that consistency. I don't exactly know how Fortnite works. So I don't know if they talk to anybody, but yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So anyway, we got to run. Finally, the end of the show. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat room. It takes a long time. It's like the Almighty. It takes forever to get there. Thanks everybody who grabs us on iTunes each week. You know the whole spiel. Look, we'll be back next week. We hope we'll have a lot more news than that. I mean, we will, but
yeah, we will.
Yeah. So,
and if not, we'll make something up.
You guys have a great week, and yeah. We'll see you next Saturday. Music here from a game called Horizon Chase Turbo. Another offer on the Humble Bundle thing.
I've got that one.
I think this started out as a mobile game. Mm-hmm. Music's kind of crap. For me, anyway. I don't like it. But anyway, here you go. We'll be back next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.